At the Sweet Potato Festival, you'll find a colorful array of booths stocked full of magnificent merchandise, showcasing the handiwork of many regional artists. This is an example of some of the fine craftsmanship you'll find here. A lot of work goes into an article like this, as we'll see in our next story.
I would call it pioneer basket weaving, but it's still a folk art. It's a heritage. It takes me back to my childhood. I've been doing it back in the early 70s. I never shall forget my first public appearance was a Senior Citizens Day. It was in line with my work at Mississippi State. And when I first started, I had no understanding of the value of it. And I exhibited my work, and I was selling some of my pieces, maybe 50 cents, $1. Nothing was over $5. And by the end of the day, about halfway through the day, I was just completely out of exhibit.
Back in, I think it was 77 or 78 is when I first met Bessie. And from childhood, her mother and father were basket makers. And I think he done white oak baskets. And she was just encouraged by them to work with pine straw.
My father was a weaver, my mother, and they both were traditional artists. So I got started when I was a child. I worked 30 years and retired, and I feel like this is what's keeping me alive. It's therapeutic. When I get tired of doing what I need to be doing, I weave a little bit every day. And if I miss a period of time, I kind of get sad. And if I want to lift myself up, motivate myself, I weave basket or do some other form of art. I got a tree in my backyard, and I go out and pick them up. My tree produced 12 to 18 inches of longleaf straw. They start falling in July, a few at a time, and I can look out my patio door. When they start, I go out and pick them up. They're already an even tone of brownness when I pick them up, so you don't have that problem of trying to cure them. You go out and pick up pine straw, your supplies are plentiful. All you need is a little imagination and a little creativity and a little bit of patience. And it's not difficult to do. You don't need the patience of Job or the hands of a surgeon. You can, just learn to do the stuff. They are really simple. It only as limited as your imagination, but putting it together is no problem. It's sort of like quilting. It's once you start, you can become addicted. This is really soothing. It soothes your mind. It's a slow process, but you'll get there with time. This is a basic bread baskets, and this is one of my best sellers here, and I can't keep them. The most interesting thing about my basket, I also put black walnut slice. When I was a child, we used gourds a lot. And even the small gourds like cereal bowls, we use those. So gourds are part of my heritage too. This is pine all the way. I got the pine tree, I got the pine needles, and this is the pine cone, and that's a little pine knob thing.
I thought it was fancy, but after looking at her new weavings, it tells me that this was the starter. She learned from this. And you see how much different work in that as it is in this? But all of it started from this. She looked at this and said, okay, I can upgrade, I can do different. It's a beautiful piece. I remember this piece. I think I got it from her when I first met her, and I wouldn't take anything in the world for it.
A lot of your schools that's out in the county and in low-income areas, they don't have art. So I have an opportunity to go into the school system and sort of introduce the art and talk about the history of it to the children and let them know that, you know, it's something that's valuable that needs to be kept alive and they need to cherish it. I think it's very important to keep our heritage alive and to pass it on and promote creative thinking, and that helps your mind.